sweetie, can you come here for a minute? Well, we wanted to talk to you. So, as you know, I'm Kara, and I really like rom-coms.
That's right, and it's very important to us that you know that we love you, and that my name is Jaren, and I really like it when dogs recognize me.
Yeah, but both of us have been talking, and we wanted to let you know that we both really love the natural, like the charm, would you say? Yeah. Okay. The natural charm of being poor, okay?
And we're very proud of you.
Oh, we love you so much.
And this is Just Kiss Already.
Love you.
Love you.
Big 1-0, huh?
Oh yeah, you're right. This is double digits now, huh?
Yeah, we made it. Wow, 10 whole episodes of Oran High School Hosted. How are you feeling now that we're in the decade?
It's like I just turned 30. Something that was completely normal and fine is now like a
something that you also haven't done yet.
Yeah. It's like the difference between 24 and 25.
This is how you picture it'll feel.
Oh yeah. No. I'm like, I won't be scared because I'll be like, it's just like when we hit episode 10. You know, I got my whole life behind me.
I'm trying to think what it was like when we hit episode 10 of Coffee Prince, but I can't even... I think episode 10 was good. I feel like we liked it.
I feel like every episode of Coffee Prince.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, it wasn't one of the ones that made us very sad.
Yes.
Like, you know, it was just we were happy.
This episode didn't make me very sad at all.
No, this one's really good. We get to see Haruhi's... We get to see Haruhi's life. I don't know why I said it like that. I felt the accent coming out.
Yeah, we get to see how she's living.
Oh my god, my favorite. I love I love anytime we get to see outside of the host club and their bond and stuff.
Yeah, there's something like one of my favorite things in fiction, I think, is when we have typical space and then we have atypical space. So like every time that we're in Hogwarts, I'm like, boring. I don't want to hear about how many rolls of parchment.
Hogwarts again.
Oh, magic school, so mundane.
Oh my god.
But like the second we go like off script and we go like to Hagrid's hut for tea.
Yeah.
I'm
oh
like,
my god, we're at Hogsmeade.
This is where our authentic selves are in this work of fiction.
Yeah.
And also everybody gets to wear new clothes.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god, I love it when we get to wear new clothes. How Haruhi's house was in this episode.
It was. We get kind of like a fun two versions of it as well.
We do.
We get what Tamaki thinks it's going to be like.
Yeah.
In his weird, like, poverty-induced nightmare.
Yeah.
And then we get like, this is normal. And,
hi, welcome to living in an apartment.
Yeah, like with your parent.
Yeah.
It's all good and normal.
How do you feel about people showing up at your house?
If you had asked me like 3 weeks ago, I'd have been like, yeah, I don't care. Like,
yeah.
I'm one of those people who's like, I'm so busy that like I let my room like not be perfectly clean all the time. And that's okay. You can at me.
Okay.
It's my laundry. I sleep on it. It's none of your business. And it's like, I had people coming over this weekend to keep me company while family was out of town.
Yeah.
And suddenly, I realized that, like, I've actually been raised right, and I care a lot about guests coming over to my house.
Oh my gosh, you do feel the need to clean your room when guests come by.
There was, like, no chance of anybody going into my room, and I was like, I need to get all of this off the floor.
Yeah.
And there was dishes in the sink, and I was like, these aren't even mine, but I'm about to clean them. What kind of trickery is this?
Oh my god.
Do you need water? Are you thirsty? I should have offered earlier. Do you want water?
Oh my god.
Do you want water?
I'm a terrible host.
It's like, I've become a completely different person when I'm a host.
So funny.
Switch flipped.
That's so funny.
How about you?
I think probably because I've lived a lot with like roommates and stuff, especially like these past few years. I have a very like common space, like the kitchen, the living room. I'm not super bothered by the presentation of it, and it's probably because part of it's like, hey, this isn't just my space. Like, hey, those, like the dishes, like those could be my roommate's dishes, even if they're mine. I'm not super bothered because I'm like, it's whatever. Come on in. Who cares? Sorry about the pillows on the floor. Who cares? But my room, I get very self-conscious about. Like, because I, you know, this is my space, and I'm fine if it's messy, especially when I'm doing a lot and there's a lot going on. But the second someone's like, especially because, you know, right now my bathroom is in my room. I have a little in-suite thing, and so if people need to go use my bathroom, they have to walk through my room, and I'm like, oh god, no, they're gonna see all the laundry, no, they're gonna see, oh no. They're gonna see that my desk is so messy.
Aw.
So I think it's gotten a little better, because when I lived in like a dorm, it was so easy to be like, dorm room off limits. But now it's like, people come over, gotta lead them through for my bathroom. I also have that like huge closet that we used to record in that I can just kind of throw shit in, which is nice.
Huh.
So fine with people in, but sometimes. I think especially when I'm very stressed, because I know that means my room is worse than usual.
It's valid. I never understood people who were like, I get up every morning and the first thing I do is make my own bed.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like, just
cannot do that.
From an efficiency standpoint, like, that's just more work for you.
You're wasting time. I was in the day.
Like, how many calories can you afford to waste throughout your life?
Yeah.
Just tucking your sheets in.
Yeah. But my living room, for me, I'm very good with. And I think it's that comfort of, like, somebody else lives here, too, so it's not like it's all my fault. It's you never know. But today we're at Haruhi's house.
Yes. She invited us over.
Did she invite us over?
Actually, she didn't invite anybody over.
Did we kind of just invite ourselves?
Kind of like the whole host club just pulls up in the Benz and parks on the street next to her place.
It starts with Tamaki's whole little nightmare, and he suddenly fears that Haruhi may be living in just like absolute nothing.
Yeah, destitute.
Yeah. And he's like, I gotta go check. And he tries to make it just like a him and Kyoya moment. But Kyoya's like, this would be a really great group activity.
Field trip. We glaze over how they even get the address, which is terrifying in itself.
Though, I guess to be fair, we could kind of always just pin it on Kyoya, because he seems to be the one who just knows everything.
Oh yeah, ethically ambiguous and well-connected.
Yeah. Always doing the background checks. But yeah, we show up, and we're like, hi, Haruhi. And she's like, hey, yo, what? Literally what?
Literally, like, just coming back from doing chores, wasn't even home.
Yeah, we have to take a minute to be like, oh my god, Haruhi's wearing a dress.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god, Haruhi! Oh my god, so cute in your casual clothes. Styling. Everybody is like, she literally is like, I'm so upset. And their first response is like, that dress looks great, Haruhi!
It's just 2 ships passing in the night.
Yeah, and you're...
6 ships passing 1 ship who's just doing her own thing.
Anyway, we've gained entry to Haruhi's home, and it's very normal. It's an apartment. It's fine.
Oh yeah, and we're throwing the commoner word around a lot this episode, with everybody being like, yes, this is specifically average for a single income household for a father and daughter. I find it really funny because right from the beginning, Tamaki has kind of worked himself up to be like, oh god, I'm so scared, like, I don't want to make her feel offended or anything. And at first it's just him, everyone else is fine. Yes. But he kind of like ropes the twins into it. He's like, think about it, guys. What if we make her sad by calling her poor on accident? And they're like, you're so right. Yeah, it's this very interesting dynamic of like, we are now aware of our ignorance, but we're trying not to let it affect our friend. And
we're overdoing it.
Yes.
By a lot.
Their heart's in the right place, but they are really working themselves up.
Oh, yeah. They're just every 2 seconds, they're like, hey, we brought some tea. Maybe you could make the tea? And Tamaki's like, no! What if there's no means to make tea or make water hot and no teapot? How dare you suggest it? And she's like, already made the tea.
Yeah, it's already done. God.
It's really not.
There's another part where Tamaki's like trying to slide her a note that's like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know, if you're at the supermarket and it says premium quality, it doesn't always mean that it's premium quality. And she just balls it up like, I know.
We just end up playing ourselves because now she's offended because they think she's stupid.
A little bit of casual infantilism between friends.
Meanwhile, Honey and Mori and Kyoya are fine.
Normal.
They're just like, hey, it's nice to finally see your house. We brought you this cake that we can enjoy.
Yeah, please. And all the boys are like fiending for it. They're like, oh, we're at Haruhi's house. Maybe we should ask if she could make us something tasty for lunch.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, we suggested that we get lunch. How dare we? It's so awful of us. And then Honey's just like, hey, let's make something.
He's
together.
like, cook for me.
Fun idea that I had.
Honey
hungy. And when Honey hungy, that's all you need.
Honey get.
Haruhi's like, you know what? Honey hungy.
Yeah.
So let's go to the supermarket.
I know I just went grocery shopping, but Honey hungy.
Yeah.
So we're going back out.
I was kind of keeping a little scoreboard because we have kind of a moment of like the Tamaki twins, making it into a game, like don't want to offend her. So I did exactly that and kind of like kept a score of like who was winning. And we have Mori had a moment where he won. Excellent. Good job for Mori. We had a score for Honey when Honey was just kind of like, which cake do you want?
Mm-hmm.
The score for Mori also when he was like, here, you can have my strawberries.
Very good. That's double points.
Score for Kyoya with when we meet Dad. Very good.
Yeah, dude.
And we came very close to a score for Tamaki because they're like, oh, let's leave the house, whatever, we'll go get to the supermarket. But Tamaki stays behind because he notices the little shrine for Mom, yeah. And he's like, oh, I was paying respects to your mom. And Haruhi's like, oh, that's actually very cool. I agree. There's a bird. And he knows. He's a Tamaki stan.
Oh.
But yeah, he stays behind and he's like, oh, pay respects to your mom. And they have a nice little sweet moment. They talk about how he reminisces a little.
The vibe of it is just like looking at somebody and going, wow, is this the first thing you've done that hasn't made you look like a shithead in quite some time?
You know, it's been a little while since you've had a good moment, Tamaki.
Forgot you were capable of not irritating me when your mouth moves and the noise comes out.
Oh, no. But we can't have sweet moments for long, because what would happen? Slippy banana peel. Tamaki fall on top of Haruhi, and just when it looks compromising enough, Dad comes home!
Yeah, dude. Dad is the one character I knew from Oron before I started watching
right.
it.
I do remember this.
I was big into JoJo's, and I think I even mentioned it when we were doing Coffee Prince. But,
yeah, that's right.
Takahiro Koyasu, the voice actor for Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, also voices Ryoji, Haruhi's last name, and Fujioka. And in this anime... You just gotta keep the momentum going no matter what. And he works at a bar where he dresses up as a woman and goes by Ronka as a stage name. And it's just so great to see in a show where it's like, there's a little bit of like the like, oh, cross-dressing genetic bit to it.
Oh yeah.
That's like, I don't subscribe to that, but I do love that it's like, oh, this is Haruhi growing up in a house with somebody who was completely comfortable defying gender norms.
Yeah.
And it goes to inform that statement she has very early on where she's like, yeah, I'm biologically female. Like, what do you want from me? It's
also good to see, because, you know, this is a cross-dressing drama, so we've kind of seen it treated as a joke because it's like a source of plot. It's a source of Haruhi dressed like a boy and shenanigans happen.
Yep.
And then this is a perspective of like, but also like people do this in their life and it's cool. And it's like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And he's shown to be a great father as well.
Yes.
They explore a little bit of like the time after Haruhi's mother passing and him feeling so protective over Haruhi and how she kind of defies that by trying to be somebody that he can rely on, trying not to create extra stress or work for him.
Yeah, Tamaki almost gets a point, but then he gets -5 because Haruhi dad is like, get out of my house, you hooligan.
Straight up tosses him like a beanie baby. And then the twins come in and walk on his corpse as they introduce themselves to Daddy.
Yeah, the twins get a point because they just walk in and like normal say, hi, nice to meet you. We are Haruhi's friends from school.
Speaking of normal, -2 points for Tamaki being like, I'm also her dad. It's cool. Nothing illicit.
Oh, it's so funny because it was like, he's like, no, I care about her. And the twins are like, oh my God, is he realizing his feelings? Is he going to confess? And then he's like, I love her like a daughter. Ooh. And we're like, you can't, not to her single dad.
Yeah.
You just found out that mom died when Tamaki.
Such a fool.
You can't do that.
all head, no thoughts, Tamaki.
And then we find out that Kyoya has been in contact with Dad, been giving him the updates, you know, introduced himself early on, was like, hello, your daughter is going to be in our care. There's a little bit of a situation going on, but no worry, I'll let you know.
It's just such... It's the intersection of professionalism and big dick energy, which is a rare corner in the spectrum of social interaction. But just like the whole thing of like, whoa, we're meeting your parents, and he's like, actually, I'm very like we've talked. Like, I've done the responsible thing of like we took her on all these trips. Of course, I had to communicate.
He's like, right from the beginning when we were going to engage in this crazy wild adventure, I figured her father should know.
Yeah, very, very responsible of Kyoya.
Yeah, and Honey and Mori are there, and they're just like, hi.
We are Honey and Mori.
And they're like, oh, cool, great. They're doing fine this time. It's very funny. They're just doing fine.
Honey and Mori, like, can I interest you in an unproblematic fave?
We also find out because when Dad mentions that he knows about the host club, we're kind of like, oh, they're all like, did Haruhi talk about us? But then we find out it was Kyoya.
Right.
But then we get a comment that's like, I've heard a lot about you, Tamaki. Haruhi's mentioned some things. And they're like, so she does talk about the host club.
I do like the little double reverse bait and switch of that. Of like, oh, she doesn't talk about us outside of school. But we are hanging out outside of school.
Yeah. And then Haruhi's like, all right, I'm gonna go shopping. You guys just stay here.
Yeah.
Don't, just leave me alone. I just need a second. And she leaves the house.
Very much being smothered.
Yeah.
And they do exactly what you should do when somebody goes to get space. Follow them covertly.
Yep, exactly. First, talk about them. Because their presence isn't here, so you can say things now.
Oh, yes.
And then stalk them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I've never done it any different. I'm pretty sure that's the... Yeah. You have to, right?
Hey, I need today off. Great, I'll see you in 4 minutes. It's great because we get like a little flashback of Dad.
Yes.
Being like, and that's Ranka, not Tamaki.
Yeah.
Dad. Being like, Haruhi used to go to the grocery store by herself, and I would follow her, and then one time she spotted me, and I was like, oh, Daddy just wanted to carry your basket.
You got me.
Yeah. And then we get, like, a fun... Like with Tamaki, there's all these moments where he fucks up, but there's also moments where, like, he thinks nobody's watching, and he proves himself to be, like, a gentle-hearted person. Because he says the same thing. Like, Haruhi spots him because he's obvious. And he's like, oh, I really wanted to come carry your basket. Ha 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 ha. And we see Ranka see that, and then like, maybe this man is like a father to my daughter.
Yeah. Very funny. Maybe it's okay to have a dad friend.
Small daddy.
Small daddy.
It's like when you get your Neopet a pet.
Oh my god. Oh no. So, one of the, I think, really fun parts about this episode is that we've seen Haruhi and the host club cross the line of, like, hanging out outside of school. But now we get the, like, they're going to her house and meeting her dad. And so, like, this is another line of, like, friendship that we're crossing and entering. Level up.
Level up, exactly. I was gonna say, like, raising a flag, but I was like, does that feel right? It's like a...
Checkpoint, maybe?
Checkpoint. Yeah. I like that. It's like we've graduated to you are allowed to know where I live, except she didn't give them that information. She's just okay with them having it. It was a
forced graduation, but a graduation nonetheless.
Forced graduation. Like kindergarten.
Yeah. Or like when you're in college and they're like, hey, you could graduate right now. And you're like, oh, there's hoping I could have more time. And they're like, cool, we've applied for your graduation. God. Take this credit now.
Fantastic.
Really fun. But yes, we're moving up, so we get to kind of... I mean, we've already seen more and more of Haruhi and the host club as friends, but since this is kind of a new level, it's kind of like, okay, we're moving. We're gradually going from this is a situation that Haruhi has to be in to maybe this is one that she wants to be in and kind of likes being in, hanging out with her buddies.
She's had moments with, like, all of the characters now.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of realizing as we're talking about it that, like, yeah, she has valid reasons to like and enjoy the company of each of these people.
Yeah.
Like Mori, Honey, both of the twins. I should say Hikaru and Kaoru because it's part of the show that we shouldn't kind of lump them together as one entity. Like Tamaki, and maybe Kyoya's the one person who she hasn't like had like a cool bonding moment
That's
with
true. All
yet.
their moments have kind of been more like, you're in debt.
Yeah.
It's me.
Kind of a strange domination angle.
Yeah.
But she's welcoming these people in, and we got the impression at the start of the show, or at least I did, that like she didn't have very many friends, at least not at Oron, because she's coming from like a completely different school district or whatever situation that is to go to this fancy pants school.
She's the new kid.
Yeah. And I think that there's definitely a part of this that's like she's playing it kind of cool. Like just wanting to have friends. Yeah. Maybe it's not something she thinks about because she's at school, but like she has
she's kind of got other goals that she's focused on. But it's nice to see. I want Haruhi to have some friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going back to, in this episode, more of the rich-poor dynamic.
Yes.
in a way that I think you put it very interestingly with the two groups of friends.
Yeah, we see a very good, for me, and I'm sure for you as well.
It was.
But this dynamic that is, we have Tamaki and Hikaru and Kaoru who are acting the same way that we've seen rich and poor done in this genre before. Like, coming back to Coffee Prince, there was a whole thing about we live in two different worlds and how are we going to understand each other? And the way they're acting kind of, like, emphasizes that. Yes. They're like, oh my god, like, what if we do something to offend her? Like, this is an entirely different species. What are we gonna do? And then we have Honey and Mori and Kyoya who are acting like normal people. Who are just here to visit their friends. And, you know, there are some differences probably in what they're used to and what Haruhi is used to, but they don't have to be the forefront. Like, there are things that are normal for people regardless of class. Like, oh, you know, when someone comes into my house, I maybe offer them a drink. Or, like, if it's culturally normal for you to bring a gift when you're visiting someone for the first time. Like, all of those things are just normal, and they don't have to be like, oh my god, this cake is so expensive, how dare you? Like, no, I brought cake for you. It's a nice cake. It's good.
It's like there's politeness, and then there's, like, trying too hard to be polite.
Exactly.
And they do end up offending her more by trying to, like, not embarrass her than the rest of them do by just being themselves.
I think it's another good example of this show being very self-aware.
Yes.
Because we literally see, like, the cliche versus how this would probably normally go.
Yeah. It's like, my friends from school are visiting unsuspectedly. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like this big, like, what if she doesn't have a teapot?
Literally. Like, listen, it's okay, y'all. We're fine. We're fine.
Yes.
Truly just more points to Honey, Mori, and Kyoya, I think. They're just kind of destroying
this was a good episode for the team of them.
Yeah. I do want to also say, because we always have to point it out, Mori has a lot of lines this episode because he's, like, being a narrator. And so, good job, Mori. I love you.
Yes.
Anyway, speaking of Haruhi, who is not what we were talking about, but that's how I'm going to transition. Speaking of Haruhi, who is someone that I also like, just like Mori. This is the first time that we really get to see her, like, family and kind of upbringing. Yeah. Because it's been hinted at before with her independence and stuff, but this is the first time we actually get to know, like, what was her mom like? And what was her dad like? Or what is her dad like?
Yeah.
He's still
around.
He's still around. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I love this approach. I feel like a lot of stories sometimes they do the thing of we start, like, at the beginning. Yeah. And we follow a character's, like, through line through their entire life. Yeah. But I really much liked that we had 9 episodes of establishing, like, who Haruhi is, what she believes, what her views towards, like, money, gender, and self-sufficiency are. Yes. And then getting a bit of information as to, like, oh, you can see how we got here from there. Yeah. Like, her mom was a lawyer, and I think her dad was sort of working odd jobs a lot when she was growing up. And so there's a lot that you could read into there, but I love that it's like the mom is the breadwinner, obviously, to use that weird, outdated, possibly misogynist connection.
She's winning bread.
We got ducks over here.
Yeah, we got ducks over here.
And I loved that it's just like there's a lot of very subtle things being done with Haruhi's upbringing. Yeah. And the self-sufficiency we were shown in the beach episode is like, oh, you relied on yourself because you didn't have anyone else to rely on because your mother was dead. But, like, knowing that dad was there the whole time and that dad wanted to be there for her, we're getting more of this angle of, I didn't want other people to have to worry about me, so I became self-sufficient. Which I think is a little bit more of, like, a common theme in some shows of, like, not wanting to inconvenience anyone, like, more than wanting to be strong for strength's own sake, not wanting to be a burden, I think, is a really common feeling.
Art imitates life.
Very true.
I feel like we can all kind of relate to that in some way.
Oh, definitely.
We've all, maybe some of us more than others, have had those thoughts, but that's definitely...
I will come clean right now. I've put a lot of effort previously in my life into being, like, a low-maintenance friend, is how I've been phrasing it. Yeah. Where it was just, like, I was always somebody who was down for whatever, whenever, and I would just show up when you wanted to hang out, and I would leave whenever, without much consideration for what was going on with myself.
Yeah.
But now I'm fully comfortable just, like, expressing my needs and desires as a human.
Good.
And being like, hey, I'm sorry if this is a bad time.
Hey.
Hey, I am not okay to hang out today.
Or, hey, I would really appreciate it if we would hang out today.
Yeah,
I kind of want it and need it for me.
You know what? I would like if you could be nice to me right now. And I do it just like that.
Yeah. Very good. Wow. I really loved seeing the flashback this episode, the story of Haruhi being like, I don't want you to come to, like, Dad finds out that it's bring your parent to school day. Haruhi's like, no, you're not allowed to come. And of course, Dad is like, oh, is she ashamed of me because I have this job and I cross-dress? And it's like, it's an embarrassing thing for her, even though Haruhi has never indicated anyway. But, yes. I mean, you know, the first guess is like, oh, I've done something wrong. Mm-hmm. And then only to find out that Haruhi was trying to give him time to rest. She was like, it's your day off. You shouldn't have to come to school. You should, you know, take some time for yourself. And just like tiny Haruhi being like, no, you have to take care of yourself, Dad. It was just like right here, in the heart. I'm pointing at my heart with my hand right here.
Can confirm.
Yeah, okay. Jaren, is my hand pointing at my heart?
Yes.
Excellent, okay.
It's just so sweet to know that, like, Haruhi's ratio of, like, height to emotional awareness has been the same her entire life.
Yeah.
It's just 1 to 3.
On the up and up. But yeah, Haruhi has always been this way.
It's sad. It really is just, like, the way... And we're talking about an anime, I know, but, like, the way that, like, children can have to change overnight and have to deal with, like, such adult feelings as, like, the death of a parent, and considering, like, your father's back and rest instead of Parents' Day kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really tracks with Haruhi's character of being somebody who's always sort of thinking about the bigger picture, especially with, like, going to Oron and, like, working to pay off this debt.
Yeah, definitely. A little Haruhi. Little Haruhi. So I think this is a good example of an episode where instances of tropes we had weren't necessarily, like, one-off. They were kind of more like one of them definitely the, like, this was the Meet the Parents episode. So, you know, it's not like, this is a thing. It's like, this is a kind of an overarching episode thing. It's still a thing, I guess.
No, yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, okay, excellent. Yeah. But yeah, we got the Meet the Parents, and then we have two that kind of come in tandem because we have overprotective parent and dead parent.
Yes. Yes, they co-occur.
You know.
Yeah, I really liked the way they handled all this. Like we mentioned earlier, we have cross-dressing parent, but Haruhi's not ashamed. And in that Meet the Parents kind of way of like, oh, the child who cross-dresses, their parent cross-dresses, that makes sense. But it's not played that way at all.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that about this, instead of being like, my dad did this, so I do this.
It's whatever, yeah.
I think it's normal because I was exposed to it. It's like, no, it's normal because it's fucking normal.
It's normal, yeah. It's cool.
And the dead mom thing is treated very, not flatly, but like, realistically, I think. It's just, there's this shrine here, Tamaki pays respect to it. Haruhi's able to talk about feelings about her mom and being proud of the work that she was able to do. And Ranka, I think, is a little bit of like the exaggerated parent, but I feel like A, we're just kind of shown that's his personality, and B, he's kind of like foiling to Haruhi being so serious all the time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He does make the comment that Haruhi takes after her mom. And that's kind of noted. Like Haruhi's like, well, yeah, my dad always says that I'm just like her. Which is sweet. It's sweet. So I'm getting a little bit discouraged about the prediction success rate. Okay.
to be so completely fair, we've mentioned it before, but you are doing a great job of predicting what will happen in the series.
Yeah.
Just not at the right time.
I'm very good at walking outside and going, it's already raining.
Yeah.
Or it rained earlier.
Yeah, I think it'll rain in a couple of days.
And I've decided I'm going to go a little bit broader with my trope prediction.
Ep 11.
Yeah, I'm going to go just episode 11.
Okay.
Accidentally or on purpose, somebody will Cabadon somebody else.
Okay. Ooh.
Either if it's like a falling push-up one, or like a 4 limbs in the corner one. Or
now
like
careful, because we did actually just have a floor Cabadon in this episode.
Yes, I feel like we're going to do a ceiling one next time.
Ooh.
It's going to be a Spider-Man crossover.
Oh my god, Spider-Man Cabadon. Wow.
Oh wow, a superhero host club.
Oh my god.
They're all the Avengers.
They might as well do a superhero theme.
Maury's the Hulk.
Okay.
Tamaki is Black Widow. Kyoya is Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Oh boy, can you tell I don't watch Marvel? The twins are Thor and Spider-Man.
The twins are just simultaneously Loki.
Oh, yes. Thank you for the bailout. And Honey is Tom Holland. I know I already said Spider-Man.
That's fine.
But he's the cutest Avenger.
We have the Spider-Verse, so we can just... Everyone can actually be Spider-Man. It's fine.
Oh, very
Wait,
good.
what about Haruhi?
Who would Haruhi be as a superhero? Haruhi is like the one S.H.I.E.L.D. accountant who just looks over all the budgets and is like...
Oh my god. Come on, guys.
Can you be a little bit safer, please? Don't land on my grocery store, Maury.
Maury. He just goes, ah. Like he always does.
He's like, you won't like me when I'm angry.
So, wait. Cabadon, that's right. That was the
right.
I forgot.
Marvel's Adventures. Okay. Cabadon.
We'll pen you down for some Cabadon. Well, all we need is one Cabadon for Jaren to get this. So come on, Oron.
Could you imagine if it was just like somehow next episode superheroes?
Oh my god.
Just that would be incredible.
Let's key it in. Let's put it down anyway. You know what? I'll give you a double Jeopardy.
Yes.
Double whammy.
Yeah.
Double or nothing.
Double stuffed Oreo.
Yeah. Superheroes.
And or
Cabadon. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
You know what? Sounds good. I want to see it.
Me for 2.
Me for 3.
Me for 4.
Me for 5. We'll let you go so we can just keep doing that.
We're just gonna keep doing this.
All right, bye.
Love you.
Me for 6. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you next time. Mwah.
Mwah.